Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, first and foremost, I'd like to thank you for coming on the show. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you for inviting me. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, of course, of course. Did you get to train today?
No, not yet. I'll be going later tonight because I had work earlier. So,
Okay. So what's your schedule look like as far as work? Because I thought like you work nights. So how
yeah,
does
my
that play into your training?
My schedule is honestly kind of crazy because I have technically like three jobs. So during yeah, during the Monday through Thursday, basically I work overnight doing I'm a kennel technician for doggy daycare and vet. And
Hmm.
then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I work part-time doing dog walking and like pet sitting. And then I also do personal training on the side. So yeah,
Okay.
it's very interesting schedule, kind of opposite from everybody else that I know, but I like
Yeah.
it just because the way that I like have, I guess, my training schedule, it's like I have the gym to myself whenever I am like able to go.
Yeah. Do you go to like a 24-hour type of gym, like where they're always open?
Yeah, well, I have like three different gyms that I go to regularly just because like my schedule is so weird. But my
Uh-huh.
main one that I go to, it's called The Gym. It's over here in Pacific Beach. And
Uh-huh.
they're just primarily a bodybuilding gym. So I go there during the week when usually like around noon and stuff during the week.
Hmm.
And then during the weekends I go to a 24-hour fitness one, just like whatever's local
Yeah.
in the area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love like real bodybuilding gyms because so there was a time like I went to a real bodybuilding gym here in Nashville for quite a while, and then they shut down with everything, economically going on. And so I had no choice. I had to do something. So I went to Planet Fitness, and it was um how can I explain it? It, it wasn't like they didn't throw me out or anything like crazy like you would hear, in the past, but it was just not it was just not what I needed, It's
Yeah.
just hard to explain. It's like people were there, but they were there. They weren't really like putting a lot of effort into it. I felt like I was like alone by myself,
Right.
and then eventually I got to another bodybuilding gym. So I was like, okay, awesome. Like back to, the old grind again. So it was pretty
Yeah, I
cool.
totally feel that. It's like it's so interesting, just like the different vibes from
Mhm.
like whatever gym that you go to. Like I said, I hop around from like gym to gym. So, I mean, yeah, the bodybuilding gyms, I feel like it's just like people are there for more of like a purpose, and usually they're like either like in prep or like off season as far as like wherever they are in their journey. And I feel like the old school like bodybuilding gyms just have like that like I don't know, it's just like a
It's hard to
that
describe,
mentality.
right?
Yeah, unless like
Yeah.
you've been there, because like it's like going from a bodybuilding gym to like the commercial gyms like Planet Fitness, Shoes, like EOS and stuff like that. There definitely is like a different like shift in kind of just the
Yeah.
atmosphere.
Yeah. I don't know. It's one of those things that it's very difficult to put in words, but you can feel it when you're there. And
Oh, definitely.
I guess it's just one of those things where you when you're with like-minded people, it's like it motivates you. When I
Oh,
see other people, and to me, it doesn't matter. It could be a female, male, it doesn't matter to me. But like whoever is like there, you can see they're grinding, you can see they're pushing themselves. It makes me want to, also push myself the same way. And I might not even know the person, but it's just their aura is like motivates me to, keep going. So.
yeah, definitely. Definitely.
Yeah, for sure. So how did you get into like animals? I noticed a lot of animal things, like animal dog like
Yeah.
dog walking, like kennel, watching. Like are you just love animals, or is that just you just happen to fall into it?
No, my passion is animals aside from bodybuilding. I grew up with dogs and stuff like that. And I
Mm-hmm.
don't know, I feel like animals, they just have like such a pure soul. Like they don't know like anything else except for love. And when I was younger, I think it was like I was like 16 or 17 and I got my first car. And my parents are like, "We'll pay for your like insurance and all that, but if you like want extra money, you have to go get a job." So I like did the regular thing where I applied everywhere for like fast food and like retail and stuff like that. And then I was like,
Uh-huh.
no, I actually let me see if I can work for myself. So I made a what was it? I made a website and then a couple flyers and posted on Inst or not Instagram. I posted on Facebook just to see if anybody would be interested in pet sitting. And that
Mhm.
night, I got my first 10 clients booked. And ever since, it was just kind of history. Like, I just have always worked with dogs and stuff like that and
Yeah.
animals. And yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, it was we had a me and my wife had a dog for 15 years since we've been married and she just passed away
Oh,
recently and
that's
it's
so
like thank you. It's like it's such a hit to like the soul. It's so difficult to handle even though I knew it was coming because she was older, I knew it was going to happen sooner or later, but like when it happened it was just so devastating and it's like um yeah, it was just rough. And so like I'm totally with you with regards to animals. I'm a big animal lover myself. It's kind of like my family's always been that way. So
yeah.
yeah, so how did you get into like bodybuilding in general, like into fitness? Was this something that you've like always wanted to do, or is it did an event spark that in you?
Honestly, I've like always been active. I've been like in
Mhm.
and out of the gym, I guess my entire life. I did like sports and different like competitive like activities and stuff like that.
Mhm.
I started working for a commercial gym back in I think it was like 2000 2022. And
Mhm.
then so I would just basically like just stay after my shift and kind of like work out, do like hop on random machines, and I didn't really know what I was doing. And then I just met some awesome people there, and they're like, "Hey, like, why don't you come and train with me? We'll like kind of teach you the ways of like what to actually do in the gym, so you're not just wasting your time, basically." And then
Mhm.
from there on, I just fell in love with like the routine, the discipline, and the one thing that I really love about bodybuilding is just that you like the effort that you put in and like those small goals, like the day-to-day discipline you like get to like see the like physical results of that hard work. And
Yeah.
like now that I'm like in, I guess that lifestyle, I have more of an appreciation too for the discipline and everything that goes into it. And then
Mhm.
just like seeing the women like that are like pro bodybuilders and stuff, it's just so inspiring because I feel like a lot of times, like women in society, they're like forced to be more like meek or like, you have to be small and like beauty
Mhm.
and all that. It's like, no, women can be strong and beautiful at the same time. And that's what I
Yeah.
really love about female bodybuilders too.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's an interesting thing because it's you'll see like in I call like everyday people, like people that generally don't work out. The females that you tend to see are like very petite, like or
Mhm.
if they're considered to be appealing, like they're very small, very petite, not a lot of muscle. And I'm like, and to me, and maybe it's because I'm already in bodybuilding, I'm already in the scene, but I'm like, that's not appealing. Like appealing would be like somebody who works hard for like what they get, the strength in
Yeah.
their build to like put effort into like what they look like. Just being like passively alive is not like an appealing physique. And so it's really interesting. And when they see somebody, it's funny whenever I see like someone who is not in bodybuilding look at someone who's like has just got a little bit of muscle, they're so impressed. And I'm like,
Yeah.
well, that's what you like should be striving for. You should be striving to have a better physique. And yeah, and I'm a lot of times I'm puzzled that you encounter people at your job and like other places where you're like one of a kind. I'm sure you run into that, right? Like you probably don't have a whole lot of people that you run into that work out in your like daily life, right?
Yeah,
Correct.
that's true. I mean, I feel like San Diego here is a little bit different just because the lifestyle out here, a lot of people are more active and fit.
Okay.
But I used to live in Arizona and definitely like just walking down the street, like basically just being obese is the new normal. And I'm like, why
Right.
do you want that for your life? Like, it's achievable to like live a healthy life. Like you don't have to be like obviously bodybuilder like status, but having like good muscle tone and stuff like that, that should be the norm for everybody, I think.
Right. And that's like the clients that I have, like some of them are bodybuilders, some of them are competitors, but a lot of them are just like lifestyle clients. It's just people that just want to be active and feel good and be healthy and be fit. Like that's what most people need to do. But I think we've come to a certain point where people just I don't know if it's they're overwhelmed by by life and they don't have, the common thing that I always hear is that people don't have the time. But if you don't ever buy out the time, how can you ever like have the time? And it's like you have to be active. So,
No, I completely understand that. Yeah, I have a couple clients and or even just my friends in my personal life too. They'd be like, I don't know how you do that. Like you work so much, but you still have time. And I'm like, we all have the same 24 hours in the day. Like you
right,
just, it's whatever your priorities are, is
right.
like what you're gonna, focus on. So
And I'm sure just like myself, you have people ask like, "Oh, how long are you at the gym? Are you in there 3 hours or 4 hours or this and that?" I'm like, "No, I'm in there like 45 minutes, an
exactly.
hour." It's like that's all you need. You just need to be intense and you need to be focused and you need to know what you want. And then, you put up some posts about your eating and like recently, I really enjoyed some of those posts where you talk about how your food and nutrition and things like that. Most people don't think about what happens outside of the gym, and
Yeah.
that's where you make the most of your gains. Um, how do you like? How do you structure your nutrition that you have like different jobs that take up different times of the day, some nights, some days? Like, how do you end up eating?
Honestly, it's just all meal prep. Like, I know a
Hmm.
lot of people, they're like, oh, I don't like meal prepping because it like takes too much time or I get bored of like whatever I'm eating or whatnot. But it's like at this point, I don't eat for taste. I eat for fuel because I know that that's like that's what it takes to get to the goals that I have in the places where I want to be as far as like my physique and all that. So I
Hmm.
spend, I think it's usually 2 or 3 days, just depending on how much food I make at once. But I just will spend like 2 to 3 hours in the kitchen making all my meal preps, and then I just bring like whatever I have with me. Like a lot of times if I'm not working my overnight job, I'm in the car, so I just find that, just quick, easy things that I can eat while I'm driving or just on the road and stuff like that. But yeah, definitely meal prep is a non-negotiable in my life now.
How's the roast going?
Oh my gosh, that was so good. It was, yeah, I like woke up and that was like the first thing that I smelled and I just got so excited. I was like, yes, like food, like
So
if
like I saw the post, but I don't think I remember all of it. What did you put it in? Like just a crock pot or like how did you
Yeah,
roast
I
it?
just I just threw it in the crock pot. What I usually do if I have more time, I'll like pan sear it on the stove first, and then I'll throw it in the crock pot with like some broth and seasonings and stuff like that, and then whatever vegetables I have lying around. I like the dump and go type of meals where I don't have to like
Hmm.
sit there and like, like watch over it or do whatever. Especially just since I'm so busy, so like I can just throw it in the night before and then it'll be ready.
Yeah. The crock pot is like the most amazing thing. My mother like gifted it to my wife and like she's been using it all the time and literally you just throw stuff in there. You throw chicken, whatever you want. You set it in whatever time it is and then it's done and it tastes delicious. It's like the best invention ever. I've never seen anything like it. It's amazing.
And
It
I
takes
love it.
no effort.
I think actually the thing that I like even more than the crock pot is the Instapot. I don't know if you.
I've never tried that. How's that?
Okay, that is a game changer. If I could, I would literally have three of them. At my old house, when I had more room, I had two. You can make like everything and anything in it. You can even make cakes. I've done like steamed like bread and stuff like that in there.
Really?
I use it for my rice. It literally takes like 12 minutes to cook your rice up. And then I make like yogurt in there. You can do like meats and stews. I do soups, chilies, all of that. Even pasta too.
So does it like have just settings? You just hit the setting for whatever you need, or like how does that work?
It's got like different settings and obviously it depends on like what model you have, but basically the it's mostly just a pressure cooker. But
Hmm.
then they have like other functions and stuff and they actually have like a slow cook slash like a stew um what's it
Yeah.
called setting on there. It's just like I think the biggest quart you can get is only 10 quarts, so they're not like that big,
Hmm.
as big as like crock pots and stuff like that.
So
But
that's why you had two, I guess. I
yeah,
mean,
yeah, I
that's
would have like my rice going in one, doing carbs, and then meat in another. But it honestly saves so much time, and you can put frozen meats in there.
Mhm.
I like always forget to thaw my meat. I'll be like ready to meal prep, and then I'm like, oh, well, all my chicken is frozen. So now,
Yeah. That yeah, I've had that happen too. I'm like, I really want a burger, and then I take out the burger meat, and I'm like, oh, this is gonna take a while. Like, I don't think I'm gonna have it anytime soon. So Yeah, it's no, that's awesome. I'm gonna have to look into that because I'm definitely all about like the quickest, easiest, busy life. I work in the medical field too, just like you. I work nights, so it's like a lot of times it's important just to get stuff like done, quick
Right.
and but still be nutritious and still be fueling your workouts and fueling your bodybuilding lifestyle. So, at this point, um, you're progressing, do you have like what are your goals as far as like bodybuilding is concerned? Do you just want to like build a good physique? Are you trying to compete? Are like what is the future goal for you?
Yeah, so honestly, I've been bodybuilding for about 3 years now, and this
Hmm.
year I really want to start competing.
Hmm.
My ultimate goal is to become a pro. Like, I would love to become a pro bodybuilder and just kind of see like where that takes me, just the opportunities and stuff. I love coaching people too, and just like trying to help them live
Yeah.
healthier lives. And I feel like a lot of bodybuilders that become pros, that's kind of like the path that they take. Like once they become pro, a lot of people will start coming in and asking them, "Hey, do you do coaching and stuff like that?" So as I'm just building my platform too, because I feel like my social media recently has kind of started to gain some traction and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I just love connecting with other people and helping them live healthier lives, not even just like in fitness in general, just like I feel like, just mentally, physically, all of that is I just want to see other people live the best lives that they can.
Yeah, yeah, that's a beautiful thing. You mentioned your social media. I noticed that it went from, like a certain number and then it just like doubled and then like doubled again. And I'm like, so what do you like attribute that to? Is it, do you did you were you are you trying to actively like grow it that heavy or did it just happen? Did something just kind of, just hit the right algorithm? What's going on? Why are you like so popular now?
I don't know. I would like to know because, yeah, I like now that I am starting to get more traction, I'm taking it a little bit more seriously as far as like the
Hmm.
content creation. Honestly, the content that I make is content that I would like to see in like others and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because I've had a couple other people, they're like, oh, like, what are you doing? Because your posts are starting to kind of blow up now. And I'm like, I don't have like any like specific like algorithm or specific like strategy as far as like what I'm doing. I just make content that I like that I think is funny or just like as far as just sharing kind of my day-to-day life because
Mm-hmm.
I feel like a lot of people are more interested in my personal life now. I mean obviously still the workout videos and
Hmm.
motivational stuff I'm gonna keep up with, but I don't like it when influencers are kind of I don't know. I feel like some of them feel more fake out there, and I'm a very genuine person, and I like
Hmm.
value authenticity and stuff like that. So I like to just kind of share just my life with other people because if I can inspire just one person, that's I think it's just worth it. So
Yeah. Um, when you say like other influence, you don't have to like name names or anything like that, but like when you say other people are like fake, like when you say fake, what kind of things come to mind if you can think off the top of your head? Like what would you say like would you consider like fake
I
on
think it's
Instagram?
yeah, I think it's just like you can tell some people are like putting up a certain persona
Mm-hmm.
that they think that like maybe other people might want them to see or whatever. Um, when I just recently got out of a long-term relationship and I
Mm-hmm.
feel like a little bit of my social media, the way that it was um more so geared towards what he thought that people wanted to see as far as like what
Mm-hmm.
a female bodybuilder was. And I think some of that content, to me at least, it didn't feel like it was me. It wasn't that authentic. And honestly, my views were not really that great when I was posting that certain way.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that like since I kind of went through that and was understanding like, oh, you know what? I was myself at one point presenting in a way that I thought that other people had like seen what my appearance looked like, and that's what I think that they should think that I am like.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I'm able to point that out in some other people's profiles and stuff like that. So I don't want to ever just like,
Yeah.
get on there and be like, hey guys, like today this, this, and this. And it's like, no, that's
Yeah.
not really like you. You can tell that it's more so of like it's almost like, oh, this is what I have to do. It's kind of like a job type of thing. Whereas I just want it to be fun, authentic, and I just
Mm,
want people to like be a part of my journey as I'm growing. Because I mean, I want them to know I'm a real human, and you know,
yeah.
everybody has ups and downs and stuff like that. So it's not like you need to be a certain type of way for anybody.
Sure, sure. I'm kind of just doing some like brainstorming as you're talking, and I'm thinking of, I think your path and just kind of like your page and is similar to someone else who's like really, really popular right now. I don't, do you know who Sam Sulek is?
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah. So I feel like he's different than other people because and he's gained a lot of traction doing it a different way. And the way he did things was he just kind of was working out and he was posting it. It wasn't edited. It wasn't anything was super glamorous or anything was super spicy or anything like that. It was just him working out, talking. And then people just loved it because I think people loved it because it was genuine in a society where everyone is trying to glamorize, in social media. And I think you're kind of in the similar field. Like I think that's why you're blowing up so much is because um the way you're presenting yourself is very genuine. You're just kind of like working out, doing your diets, like talking about your day. It's not over glamorized. It's not, done in a very just kind of Hollywood type of style way. And I think people are burnt out on that. And I think they're looking for someone who's just a regular person who they
yeah.
can connect with, who they can see themselves in.
Yeah, no, I completely like agree and thank you. I'm glad that you said that because I just want to make sure that all of the way that I have my social media and everything is like still, I guess, connected to like the foundation and the cores and values that I have
Mm-hmm.
as a person.
For
So
sure.
it's
For
really
sure.
great to hear that. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. That's what I see. It's very similar. Like obviously he's got a leg above you because he's been doing it for a long time, much longer, and he's kind of, hit whatever marks, you hit in social media. But I think you're in the same field and I can see like, you've really you obviously like are in the same path, so it's pretty cool. I mean, I think it's exciting for you. So,
Yeah, it's a lot
but
of fun. I love
yeah.
content creation and all that. It's just like the creative outlet too. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, yeah. So you said you're thinking about competing this year, you're trying to move forward. Do you have a particular division that you're looking at like to compete in?
Yeah, I want to compete in physique. I just think that the way that my body structure is made up, it's that would just be the most successful category for me to compete in and to go far in. And then possibly going into maybe the bodybuilder division at one
Hmm.
point if I decide that I want to like really like take it that far into the career and all that.
Hmm.
Just yeah, because I think that those women are just amazing, but it definitely takes a little bit. I feel like extra to be in that division.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, physique is also a pretty muscular division. Is there a reason that you you're going that direction? I know you said that your body kind of like you feel like it fits that. Have you thought about like figure or anything like that, or were you always set on like physique is where I'm gonna be?
Honestly, just looking at the different divisions and the way that the judges like judge the bodies and stuff and the proportions, because I'm only 5 feet tall, so I'm like I'm
I
pretty
just saw
short.
that. I just saw that in like a post or I think a response to something that someone asked about, like a comment, and you're like 5 feet tall. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
funny because like on social media, you never really know like somebody's height until you actually meet them in person, and so
Exactly.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's funny.
Yeah, so I mean I'm like short and pretty like stocky build. I feel like I don't have that like small of a waist. So as far as
Hmm.
like the X frame that you want for figure or like any of the
Hmm.
other divisions. And also I just love like putting on muscle and seeing just
Hmm.
like how much muscle mass and density I can get. So I just think that the physique class would be like the one for me. And I've talked to a couple other like bodybuilders and coaches and stuff, and
Sure.
they were like, no, I think that that would be the best category. I also suck at wearing heels, so I think I would probably
So
break
you
my
just want to be
head trying to
barefoot.
exactly.
That's funny. Yeah. Yeah, no, I totally get it. I mean, hey, physique is an amazing division. And I mean, honestly, with the I don't know how much you keep up with the pros at the, at this point, but there's a lot of controversy and at the top levels of physique. Yeah, do you know what I'm talking about? Are you aware of everything that's going on with Natalia and Sarah and all that stuff?
A little bit. I've heard a little bit, but I don't like spend too much attention on like the following
Gotcha.
thing really behind
Yeah,
all
yeah.
that.
It's interesting. But it's a very competitive division now. And it's one of those divisions that people are really like interested in. I think it's good. What do you think about the fact that there's more and more divisions being added? Like now we have Fit Model that's been added to the IBB. Do you think it's a good thing to add more divisions? Do you think it detracts from like what's your viewpoint on that?
I don't know. I feel like I'm kind of split down the middle as far as like how I'm feeling about the added divisions. I feel like on like one side it's good just because more people can like get on stage if they want to and like show their
Right.
progress and just the more the merrier, I suppose. But then on the other hand, I feel like it is taking away too, just because like the divisions are, I feel like they're kind of like melding together almost like as they're adding
Yeah.
more, especially in like the women's categories and stuff like that. It's getting a little confusing on like what they're like actually looking for as far as like the specific divisions and just like the physique and stuff like that. And I feel like for some of the like smaller, I guess, physique types, it's kind of like, why are you competing? Because there's not like you're not like actually like having much like muscle mass. It's like, what are you like actually showing off?
Yeah, yeah, it's interesting because yeah, I think you're right as far as like it being some blurred lines, it's tough to like what are we looking at? The more divisions they create, the the more difficult it is to know the difference between them. And so
Exactly.
I do wonder, like at some point, all the divisions are getting bigger. I don't know if you kind of noticed that, but it doesn't matter what division, like the creative fit model, I'm sure within a year, two, five, 10, whatever, the fit model is going to get bigger and bigger and
Oh,
bigger. It seems like it's always like trends that way, and then they have to kind of create another division that's a little bit, softer because to kind of bring it back. So, I don't know what the answer is. I think it's just you have to reward like the people that fit the criteria, and I think that's the best way to handle it.
yeah, because you're so right. Because it's like where does the line draw in between like how many divisions are they gonna
Yeah.
include in the future? Because not everybody can like win participation trophies and stuff like that. So it's just like where does the line draw? And I feel like also within the men's like divisions and categories too, the what they're looking for is a little bit different. Like I feel like it's more so just based on size and not so much as aesthetics anymore. I don't
Yes.
know if
Yeah.
that's like what you've noticed too, but definitely in the
Yeah.
past couple of years.
I think so too. I think that that is true. I think especially when you're talking about like the open, divisions, it's all about like mass and I mean mass is great, but
Right.
mass has to, it has to flow well with your structure. You have to look good. To me, a bodybuilder is someone that someone looks at you and says, "Oh man, that's a beautiful physique."
Mhm.
Yeah, if you look like a refrigerator, you might be massive. That's
Yeah.
true. You might have a lot of muscle, but like, is that really what the elite level of like bodybuilding is? I don't know. I mean, and I get it. I get it. Everybody has to work within their structures. I totally understand. Nick Walker is not going to look like, Samson. It's not going to look, like someone else that might be a little bit more aesthetic. I get it. Like everybody's got their strengths and their weaknesses. Um, but I do feel like they should reward people that are a little bit more aesthetic and as they did in the past. And now I think it's they're more focused on mass. I do think you're right about that for sure.
Yeah, because like looking back in like, the golden age of bodybuilding in the 80s and 90s, it's like almost completely like different to what you're seeing now as far as like the
Hmm.
top like people that are winning these competitions and stuff.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Um, as far as your like your family, we never talked about this. How are like what kind of feedback have you been getting from your friends and family as far as your bodybuilding endeavors are concerned?
Yeah, honestly, I don't talk to my family. I'm estranged from them, just
Mm,
boundary issues and stuff like that. So, but as far as like my friends and peers and even just like my coworkers and stuff, they're like, dude, you're so different like from even a year ago. Like I'll have like memories like pop up on Facebook or like Snapchat and stuff
yeah,
like that. And I'm like, who is this person? I'm like, it's like, just different seasons for different things in your life. And even just like at the gym that I go to, there'll be people that come up to me like constantly. They're like, what are you doing? Are you competing now? Like, I've seen like your transformation over just like the past year or two, or like I've seen like when you started, and they're like, it's just really uplifting. And that's another part of the gym community that I love. It's just like everybody's just always for you and just
yeah.
for you.
That's the best thing. That's the best feeling is when you're like working out or you're out in the gym and somebody comes up to you and he's like, are you competing? And you're
Exactly.
like, oh, that's I must be doing something right if people are
Exactly.
coming up to me and saying that, asking if I'm competing. So things are going in the right direction. Yeah.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, that's awesome. So, what do you find like the most challenging thing about being someone who's, you're shooting for your first competition, you're trying to put on muscle mass, you're going for a division that is considered to be one of the more muscular divisions. Like, is there something that you find more difficult in your preparation for that?
Honestly, just time management. I feel
Hmm.
like it's just like there are so many different like moving parts, and especially like, you want to make sure that you're like on the right track as far as like just the building phase and everything, and then getting like ready for prep, and then to get everything ready for like the final package on stage. And especially just like with the my work schedule and everything, it's just like I have to be like on top of everything kind of 24/7 to make sure that I'm like meeting those goals, for my check-ins and everything.
Yeah, yeah. It's like how often do you check in? A week, once a week?
Yeah, I'll be checking in once a week. I'm like in the process of finding a new coach right now.
Yeah.
So I'm just kind of like in my off season, like I guess like building phase right now. I'm on a bulk. Uh,
Hmm.
so yeah, once I am able to lock down this new coach, I think we'll be doing 2-week check-ins at first, and then just going for like once a week.
Yeah. Do you have in your mind like a time of the year where you want to step on stage for your first time?
I'm thinking probably either like late summer, beginning
Hmm.
of fall, just because like I want to have like a certain like amount of time as far as just making sure that I'm like mentally prepared too, because I know that it takes like a mental toll too, especially like during the prep phase as well.
Sure, sure. Yeah, like cutting all the calories back, that's gonna, you know, I don't know how like what kind of person you are. For some people, it's difficult to eat. For other people's, it's difficult to cut. For me, I have no problem in eating. Eating is very easy for me, but it's when I start cutting, that's when I start suffering. And so, like, how about you? Do you have an easy time pounding the food in, or is that something that's like difficult for you?
No, that is something that's difficult for me. I have to set
Okay.
like daily timers, and especially when I'm working, since I work those 10-hour shifts, I
Mhm.
like have a timer for every 2 hours. I'm like, you gotta eat, you gotta
It
eat.
like goes off.
Exactly, exactly, yeah. So, I mean, yeah, for me, I've always like just struggled basically eating enough or just remembering to eat. I have hypothyroidism. So my
Hmm.
metabolism is kind of weird, and sometimes the medicine that I'm on, I don't like have like actual like hunger cues sometimes. So I'll if I like don't have my timer, I'll like eat maybe once a day, if even that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, so I just, just make sure that I just live by my timers basically on when I need to eat so I can make
Yeah.
sure that I'm getting that like protein in and all that.
That's tough. That's tough. Like to have to like you can't even a lot of times you're not even feeling like you're like you're hungry. That's it's
Yeah.
for me that's such a wild concept because I'm always hungry, but 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 yeah, that's a difficult thing. And so it's funny because I knew a guy, I used to work with a guy and he would tell me that he would say, Armin, I literally don't feel like eating. It almost never. I never have a desire to eat. And that was such a weird concept. This is at the beginning of me starting to coach. And that's when I started to realize, oh, it's like this is a real thing. Like there's people that just don't feel like eating. And I didn't even know that that was like a thing. And so it was really eye-opening. And so a lot of times for people that they have as hard of a time eating as others have time not eating. It's like the same, it's like the opposite side of the coin. And so same issues, but like opposite side of the coin. So yeah, I thought it was an interesting like revelation.
Yeah, I feel like you just whatever like obstacle you have, you just have to adapt and to overcome
Sure.
if you really want to get those goals that you have.
Sure, sure. I did put in some questions to see if like anybody had some questions on this podcast that we wanted to ask. So one of the things that people are wondering is like, what's your favorite exercise? Do you have like a favorite?
Ooh.
Um, mhm.
I don't know, because I just honestly I love all of them. I just
Uh-huh.
love being in the gym. I like when I go into the gym, I'm like a little kid in a candy store, just trying to figure out, I'm like, okay, what am I gonna do today? But honestly, probably just like the compound exercises like squats, deadlifts, and bench. I've been getting more into benching lately, and that's awesome. I
Mhm.
love it. It's a lot of fun.
So what's your like favorite body part then? Like, do you have a favorite body part to work? Like, where you get just like really excited to go into the gym for?
Yeah, I love back days. I love seeing like a
Back.
good back pump. Yeah.
Yeah, the back is great. Like my biggest like when I was years ago, I had this love-hate relationship with legs. I would love to do legs, but then I would so hate it because it was a weird like yin and yang type of situation where it's like it was like I would sit in the car and I would think to myself, I was like, do I really want to go into this gym? And so it was a wild time, but now I've kind of gotten a little bit over it. But
Yeah.
but yeah, I totally like get like those difficult days. Sometimes you have, but back is your favorite. What's your least favorite?
My least favorite, honestly, like you said, legs. Like I have a love-hate
Legs.
relationship too. I love the pump because I'm like, yes, like I said, I'm 5 feet tall and my legs are even shorter than my torso. So that pump is insane when I do like get in there. But for me, I like it when there's a bunch of different like types of workouts that you can do like within the
Hmm.
or a bunch of different like exercises that you can do because I feel like
Hmm.
with the your upper body, you're able to do like a bunch of different like little movements and stuff like that, or
Hmm.
like even just like tweaking the hand placement on specific attachments and bars for exercise
Yeah.
kind of changes like what muscle group you're working out. But as far as for legs, I feel like there's not that much of variety. And I think I have like a little bit of ADHD. So if I'm just doing something like repetitively over and over again, I'll get bored and I'm like, all right, I got to get to the next thing. And legs is kind of just, you just have to hit it with a lot of volume and stuff like that. So for me, when I'm
Yeah.
in the gym, I'm like kind of zoning out as I'm doing my sets. But then afterwards, I'm like, yeah, the pump looks awesome. So it's worth
Yeah,
it.
it's interesting because it's like the different angles. It's so amazing that just a different angle or different placement on your hand will hit like a different aspect of your muscle group and they have totally different development. It's something that's really unique and unless you've experienced it, it's really hard to understand. But obviously like something like back, I mean, you definitely can make a lot of adjustments to your hand placement to work different aspects of your back muscles.
Yeah, I love that. And it's just like there's always something new to be like learning, I feel like too, whether it's like inside the gym or outside the gym, as far as just like fitness and nutrition and stuff like that.
Yeah. So speaking of nutrition, the other question that I had here is, what is your favorite meal? Do you have like a favorite? Like, I know you do meal prep, you eat a lot of different things, but like, is there one particular one that you just like love to have?
I don't think there's like one particular one. I feel like I like will randomly go through periods where I get like super like hyper fixated on one thing. Like right now for me, it's protein like oatmeal protes. So I've been having a lot of that. Like I think I have that like probably 3 or 4 times a day to be honest, just to like get it over with and it's something easy to eat. That or I can always just go for a good steak. Like I feel like
Yeah.
steak and potatoes or steak and rice, depending on what type of carb I can have that week.
Yeah.
It's just always a solid plan.
I'm a big chicken guy, but steak to me is like it. I'm like
Yeah.
if I can get a good steak, it's like, oh, it's amazing. I just like lay out afterwards, just roll my
Exactly.
head over. Like
Like
it's amazing.
go into a little food coma.
Right, right. That's funny. So this one is it could be a little personal, but are you natural at this point?
No, honestly, even starting out, like I said, I've been like bodybuilding, I guess more consistently for 3 years. So
Mm-hmm.
I've been like on cycle, like or running stuff for about 3 years now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And right now I'm just on Anavar.
Gotcha.
So nothing too harsh or anything like that. But honestly, I kind of wish if I could do it over again, I would have spent these last 3 years natural. Just
Yeah.
seeing basically like what my foundation is and as far as my strength. And I feel like in the gym I would have felt a little bit more confident just to know what my natural like capabilities are. Just because like when I go off cycle, I have that like mental, like, because your strength goes down once you're off of
Mm-hmm.
stuff. And so it's just kind of
Yeah.
like those times. And then just the hormones too, also just
Sure.
constantly
Sure.
getting that work and stuff, making sure. And I feel like it's a little different for women too. You have to be a little bit more on top of everything just because we have, our natural like menstruation cycles and stuff like that.
Right. And yeah, that's so I don't know how it is for you, but a lot of women like will lose their, menstruation cycle
Mhm.
for when they're on Anavar or things like that. And so like when it comes back, sometimes it can come back a little bit, heavier than normal and things like that. So yeah, there's a lot to consider. When people ask me, and this is males and females, they're always like, "Oh, do I need to like jump on a cycle right now?" I'm like, "Look, do the most you can naturally and then make a conscious decision, personal decision on what you want to do. Um, I'm not against it by any means. Obviously, being in this industry, you can't be, but but at the same time, it's like do your utmost, maximize your your natural potential, and then make a decision on what you want to do, and then you'll know. And so, yeah, I totally agree with you. Like sometimes people jump a little too early. I don't know if you jumped too early or not, but sometimes it can be like, yo, you're rushing. You're kind of like, oh, it'd be exciting to get more muscle to quickly, and so like you kind of get into that rhythm of like, oh man, I just want to keep growing, keep getting
Yeah.
better. And so, and people sometimes jump a little too early, but whatever the case may be, how have you noticed any like downsides to it, or are you at such a low dose that you're really only seeing like positives at this point?
No, honestly, because I have like other autoimmune disorders and stuff.
Hmm.
So I've tried a bunch of like different compounds over the last
Hmm.
3 years just because like my body had been really resistant to some things that I was taking. And I think the now that I know kind of like how my body reacts, I know kind of what to avoid because I don't remember what I was taking, but I was taking something pretty strong
Hmm.
for only about a month, and that affected my mental health so much. Like
Really?
roid rage was a thing, and I'm like not like that.
Was it trend?
No,
No.
not Trent. No, no, no. Not yet. I'm just kidding.
Not
Um,
yet.
but no, like, yeah, I think that that's one thing, just because like steroids and stuff are like more so in the media and people like have those stereotypical, like,
Sure.
stereotypes just about it and everything. But no, there is definitely a downside. And obviously, like, one of them is just or well, I don't think that it's a downside for me because I like my voice the way that it is, but you can
Mm,
tell that I've taken stuff and that I am on stuff just because I
mm,
have that deeper trend voice,
mm,
as people say.
mm.
Um, but like with everything, there's just a risk to everything, and you just need to do your research and be educated on what you're taking, how much you're taking, and honestly, I don't think that like unless you have a coach, I don't think that you should be on stuff because like you're not educated enough, and
Yeah.
there's like so much misinformation out there too, as far as like what there is and how things can affect you.
Yeah, it's tricky because now people get on, gear before they like even lift their first weight. And so
Yeah,
like as soon as they start lifting, they, excuse me, get on gear and they can really, really damage themselves. And so, I don't know your age. We haven't talked about that, but a lot of times, people that, that you're talking about, like 15, 16, 17-year old, guys, girls, like mostly guys I've seen, but I mean, I'm sure, as the fitness industry evolves and grows and social media grows, you see more like probably girls getting on things like that as well. And so, yeah, it's a big decision. It's not, again, it's not something that I'm necessarily against or anything like that, but it is a big decision. You can't deny that. And so like I don't think you should make that decision without having some kind of supervision, and that's,
definitely.
I think that that's really important. But I will say I didn't really, I mean, I thought you had a more or less of a normal voice. I didn't necessarily notice anything, but did you notice that like quickly, like as you started taking it, or was this something that kind of progressively happened
I
from
feel
from
like
from your point of view, of course?
yeah, from
Yeah.
my point of view, honestly, I think that it did change pretty quickly.
Hmm.
And which was interesting because I was only taking Anavar and then I think MK677 at the time
Hmm.
when I first started out.
Yeah.
And it was actually like I didn't notice it too much, but my friends were all like, they're like, "Are you okay? Are you sick?" Like when I would call them
Yeah.
stuff like that, and I'm like, "Okay, I guess it is kind of changing." And then as I was like recording myself, that's like when I noticed that it was changing. But
Hmm.
honestly, it's my voice. I don't care. Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
I mean, there's women that have a more of a, like it's still feminine, but they have a more of
yeah,
a like a. I mean, I always point to. I mean, this is probably like a weird thing to point to, but like Beyonce has a very like deep voice, and she's, and everybody loves her, so I don't think you have anything to worry about.
yeah,
But yeah, it is interesting. There are things that can happen, that do happen, and I think it's important for, like you said, especially for women, because I do believe that it has a more of an effect on women than men, and I think that's something that really should be taken into consideration for sure.
yeah, yeah. Because like you said, like I feel like the age of people starting steroid usage is getting younger and younger. I'm 24, and
Mhm.
so I am seeing a lot of people my age, like
Yeah.
even just in the commercial gyms, they're like on stuff. But I'm like, you guys realize it's not a magic pill. You're not gonna pin yourself and immediately gain 25 pounds of muscle mass
Yeah.
overnight. Like, I'm like, you still have to put in the work and. It can get expensive, so I'm like, if you're gonna be taking like stuff, don't have a mid physique and just be
Yeah.
taking it, like you gotta make sure that you
To
understand the consequences of taking these like stuff because you're adding drugs and other compounds into your body that will have an effect for you the rest of your life.
Totally. I absolutely think you're right. People think that they're just gonna take something and within a short, very very short time, their physique is gonna completely change and they're gonna look totally different, and I'm
Yeah.
like, that's not how it works. You have to put in a lot of work.
Mhm.
Your nutrition has to be right. You have to train very hard, and these things help build your muscles more. It helps you have like an advantage on gaining a better physique, but it is by no means immediate or some kind of magic pill. Like that's just not how it works. And so, and I think people become very disappointed. It's like like, especially people that aren't really trying to compete and aren't really trying to be in bodybuilding. They just want to have a decent physique, it's like they take it and then they're like very disappointed because it didn't do what they thought it would do in the time that they, thought it would do it. And it's like, well, you should have done more research. That's how it works. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So, what do you think about, you were talking about MK7, and then, now there's so many peptides out, and some of them are effective. I feel like my personal opinion, some of them hard to say, like, what do you think? Do you think they're like beneficial? Do you think they're not as good as the claims are?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, I feel like certain like compounds and certain ones like do what they said that they're supposed to. Honestly, just like with everything, whatever you're on, you just need to do your research and
Mhm.
you just make the best like educated decision for yourself as far as like what you're taking. Um, yeah, that's basically it.
Yeah, 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 yeah. It's I think the biggest thing now, though, and has been really popularized in bodybuilding now, along with everywhere else, is the retatrutide and all the
Yeah,
GLP-1 agonists. I mean, they're definitely effective for sure. I'm just I don't know if I'm concerned, but it's just they're very popular. They're very popular. And whenever things become like so popular, I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop. Like
yeah,
what's gonna happen in like 6 months? What are they gonna find? So
yeah, exactly.
yeah, but
But, I mean, I feel like it's with everything. It's just like
yeah,
a trend that like happens and then just like whatever is the next thing is the next thing. So
sure, sure, for sure. Okay. Well, hey, Maddie, I'm really happy that you came on the show. I really appreciate it.
yeah, thank you. I'm so glad to be here and I'm happy that you invited me on. So thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, of course. All right, so you're in San Diego. Were you always I know you said that you were in Arizona at one point. So you're not from that California area, correct?
No, I'm not. I've kind of actually lived everywhere. I've lived throughout the Midwest and like other places throughout the US just growing up. So I'm kind of from
So
everywhere.
so what made you go to California? Like was it the bodybuilding or was it something else?
Actually, I moved out here with my ex, and so he just basically we were living out in Arizona at the time, and he was like, "I think I'm gonna move back to San Diego, and do you want to
Hmm.
just like come out and check it out?" And so we came out for I think it was like a 3 or 4 day trip, and I just absolutely like fell in love with the community here. The vibe is so laid back. There's just so much to do too out here
Hmm.
as far as like I love nature, so there's like a lot of like hiking trails out here. You go up to Mammoth, do like snowboarding, skiing, and stuff like that. And
Hmm.
just the whole like, just they have like a lot of other like entertainment and stuff like that too. Whereas in
Snowboarding,
Arizona,
skiing, really? Like
yeah,
for some reason I don't think of snow as being part of like San Diego. Is that so you guys have like a decent amount of snow there?
well, it's not in San Diego, but it's like I think 2 or 3 hour like drive up north, so it's not.
Oh, I gotcha. I
Yeah.
gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I'm totally ignorant of the area. That's why. Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
gotcha.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. One time I like for work, we ended up going to California and I can't remember exactly where it was, but I mean, it was beautiful. It was amazing. It was wonderful. My wife is from Florida, so it has a very like similar vibe, and I
Yeah.
feel I feel like anywhere where there's like the beach, the ocean, a lot of sun, people tend to really focus on like training and
Mhm.
bodybuilding and nutrition, and I love that kind of scene.
Yeah, and I feel like people here are just they're more happy and like relaxed. Like they're the
Yeah,
way that the vibe is, they're just like free out here. Like
yeah.
even though everything's expensive, but I mean we have the beach. So we're broke,
Well,
but we got the beach. So
yeah. Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, I'm not gonna lie to you, everything's expensive everywhere and it's
yeah,
only
that's
going
true.
up. So,
Yeah.
yeah. So, but anyways. So hey, if anybody wanted to reach out to you, Maddie, like for another podcast or like maybe coaching or anything else, what would be the best way for them to do that?
Yeah, so right now just through my TikTok and Instagram, which is just Muscle Mommy Mads.
Mhm.
Yeah, so just probably those two places for now.
Okay, awesome. And I'll link everything, guys, at the bottom so make it easier for you. And again, Maddie, thank you so much for coming on the show. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Take care. Have a good night.
You too. Bye bye.
Bye.